Happiness is not something that happens to you, it is something you choose. It's easy to get caught up in life's challenges and focus on everything that's going wrong. It's easy to let your circumstances determine your state of mind, your mood, and your outlook on life. But I want to remind you today, you have the power to choose happiness, no matter what your circumstances may be. You see, happiness is not a destination. It's a choice. It's not something you wait for. It's something you decide to embrace. Every day you have the opportunity to decide how you're going to face the day, what kind of attitude you're going to have, and what kind of mindset you're going to carry with you. And even in the midst of difficulty, you can choose to find joy. It's so easy to get caught up in the negativity around us. We live in a world that often focuses on what's wrong, what's missing, and what we lack. But happiness isn't found in what you have or don't have. It's found in how you choose to see the world. When you choose to focus on what's good, what's positive, and what's working in your life, happiness begins to flow. It's not about what you don't have. It's about being grateful for what you do have. Choosing happiness doesn't mean ignoring the challenges, the pain, or the difficulties. It means deciding that you won't let those things steal your joy. Life isn't always easy, and things don't always go the way we want them to. But happiness comes when you refuse to let your circumstances dictate your attitude. It's about finding peace in the middle of the storm. Sometimes we wait for external things to bring us happiness. We think, if I get that promotion, if I buy that house, if I go on that vacation, I'll be happy. But happiness isn't a result of what happens to you. It's a decision you make from within. It's about finding joy in the present moment, not in some future event. You can choose to be happy right now, regardless of where you are or what you're going through. One of the most important things to remember is that happiness isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you create. You create happiness through your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. When you choose to see the good in people, the good in your life, and the good in yourself, you're choosing happiness. You also have the power to choose how you respond to what life throws your way. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it. Choose to respond with joy, with gratitude, and with positivity, and you'll find that happiness follows. Another key to choosing happiness is forgiveness. Holding on to grudges, anger, or resentment will only keep you from living a happy life. When you let go of negativity and choose to forgive, you free yourself from the weight that's holding you back. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful ways to choose happiness. It releases you from the past and opens the door to peace. You are the architect of your own happiness. It's not something that depends on anyone else. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances, or the perfect people. You have the power right now to decide that you are going to choose happiness. You have the power to decide that no matter what comes your way, you will find joy in the journey. Choosing happiness is a choice that's always available to you. You don't have to wait for happiness to find you. You can create it today. It's all in how you choose to see the world and how you choose to respond to what life throws your way. Make the choice to be happy and watch how your life begins to transform. Happiness is a choice. It's not something that just happens to you by chance, nor is it something that comes from external circumstances or possessions. Too often we wait for life to align perfectly, for everything to fall into place, or for the perfect moment to experience happiness. But here's the truth. Happiness doesn't have to be a product of your circumstances. It's a decision, a choice you make every single day. Every morning, you have the power to choose how you're going to approach the day. You can choose to wake up with a grateful heart, ready to find joy in the smallest things, or you can wake up focusing on what's wrong, what you don't have, or what's not going according to plan. The reality is that you control how you see the world, and the way you choose to view it can make all the difference in whether you experience happiness or frustration, contentment or discontent. It's important to realize that happiness isn't a destination you're heading toward, nor is it something that will just arrive once you reach a certain milestone. We often think that if we get the promotion, buy the house, go on the vacation, or check off everything on our to-do list, then we'll finally be happy. But true happiness is not found in future events or material things. It's about choosing to embrace the present, appreciating what you have right now, and finding joy in the little moments of life. Life is unpredictable, and it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that happiness is dependent on external factors. If things aren't going the way we hoped or planned, it can feel like our happiness is slipping away. But happiness isn't something that can be taken from you. You have the power to choose your attitude and your response no matter what comes your way. It's not to say that you should ignore difficult emotions or challenging times. Life can be tough, and it's okay to feel upset, frustrated, or sad at times. But the key is to not allow those negative emotions to take control of your entire day, week, or life. You can acknowledge the hardship, but choose not to let it define you. You can choose to rise above the negative energy and look for moments of peace, joy, and gratitude. Even in the hardest moments, there is always something to be thankful for. Happiness doesn't mean everything is perfect. It means you choose to see the good despite the imperfections. Choosing happiness is also about how you deal with setbacks and obstacles. Life is full of challenges, but it's not the challenges themselves that determine your happiness. It's your mindset in response to them. When something goes wrong, you have a choice. You can focus on the problem and allow it to steal your joy, or you can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth, learning, or redirection. Every challenge is an invitation to decide how you want to react, and how you react determines how much joy you allow into your life. One of the most powerful ways to choose happiness is through gratitude. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you shift your attention away from what's lacking in your life. This shift in perspective opens your heart to the joy that's already present, even if it's in the simplest things. Gratitude has the power to transform your outlook on life, turning ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. When you choose to be grateful, you're choosing happiness. Another key to choosing happiness is taking responsibility for your own happiness. We often wait for others to make us happy, whether it's a partner, a friend, or a family member. But the truth is, no one else can make you happy unless you first decide to make that choice yourself. Happiness comes from within, and it's up to you to cultivate it. Others can bring joy to your life, but they cannot be the source of your happiness. Choosing happiness also involves letting go of negativity and toxic influences. Whether it's negative self-talk, a toxic environment, or the company of people who drain your energy, these things can undermine your ability to choose joy. You have the power to distance yourself from negativity and surround yourself with people, situations, and thoughts that lift you up. When you eliminate the things that bring you down, you create space for the happiness and peace you deserve. Finally, happiness is about living authentically. It's about being true to yourself and embracing who you are, flaws and all. When you stop trying to be someone you're not and allow yourself to live in alignment with your values, your passions, and your purpose, you create a deeper sense of joy. Choosing happiness means accepting yourself exactly as you are and finding peace in knowing that you are enough. At the end of the day, happiness is a choice that only you can make. It's not about waiting for something outside of you to change. It's about choosing to see the world through a lens of gratitude, positivity, and possibility. It's about deciding right now that you are going to choose happiness, no matter what. Life may not always go according to plan, but your joy, your peace, and your happiness are always within your reach. And when you choose to focus on the good, you'll find that happiness is not just a fleeting feeling. It becomes a part of who you are. Your circumstances don't define your happiness. Too often, we fall into the trap of thinking that our joy is directly tied to what's happening around us. We believe that happiness comes from having the perfect job, the right relationship, or the ideal life situation. But the truth is, happiness is not a product of your circumstances. It's a choice that you make regardless of what's going on in your life. It's easy to look at what you don't have or what's going wrong and believe that happiness is out of reach. When things are difficult or you feel like you're facing one obstacle after another, it can seem impossible to find joy. But I want to challenge that belief. Your circumstances are not the ultimate determining factor of your happiness. In fact, it's how you respond to those circumstances that truly shapes your state of mind and your sense of peace. No one's life is perfect. We all face challenges, big and small. Whether it's financial struggles, relationship issues, health concerns, or personal doubts, it's natural to feel weighed down by life's difficulties. But what matters most is not what happens to you, but how you choose to see and respond to those challenges. You have the power to decide how much control your circumstances have over your happiness. Happiness isn't about having everything go your way. It's about finding peace and joy despite the struggles. It's about looking at the challenges you're facing and still finding the strength to smile, to be grateful, and to stay positive. In the midst of a storm, you can still choose to dance in the rain. You can choose to find reasons to be thankful, even on your hardest days. Think about the most successful and happiest people you know. They've likely faced their own set of struggles, times when they felt like giving up, times when life felt like a constant uphill battle. What sets them apart is not that they had an easy life or never faced setbacks. What sets them apart is that they made a decision. They chose to focus on what they could control, and they chose to find happiness in the process, not just in the outcome. Your happiness comes from the inside. It's about how you see yourself and the world around you. It's about choosing to have a positive mindset and refusing to let negative circumstances or negative people control your emotional state. You might not be able to change what happens to you, but you can change how you respond and how you choose to interpret those events. Choosing happiness doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is okay when it's not. It means accepting that life is full of ups and downs and deciding that you won't let the downs steal your joy. Happiness is about cultivating resilience. It's about finding strength even when things aren't going as planned and choosing to make the best of every situation. Remember, happiness is an inside job. It's something that comes from within you, not from the outside world. It's a mindset that you cultivate, not a prize you win once your life is perfect. Your circumstances can influence your mood temporarily, but they don't have the power to define your overall happiness unless you let them. You get to decide how you feel, how you respond, and what you focus on. So no matter what your circumstances look like today, don't let them control your happiness. You have the power to choose your attitude, your thoughts, and your perspective. You can choose joy, peace, and gratitude no matter what life throws your way. Your happiness is not tied to your circumstances. It's tied to how you choose to embrace life, no matter what happens. You are the one who decides how you feel, so choose happiness today and every day. Choosing gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to transform your life. It's easy to get caught up in everything that's going wrong, everything you don't have, or everything that seems unfair. But gratitude has the ability to change the way you see the world and shift your mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. When you choose gratitude, you choose to focus on the blessings you already have rather than what you're missing. Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you or acknowledging the good things in your life. It's a mindset. It's a choice to look at your circumstances and find the good, the silver lining, and the opportunities for growth. It's about looking beyond the difficulties and challenges and focusing on the things that bring you peace, joy, and hope. When you start your day with gratitude, it sets the tone for everything that comes afterward. It helps you approach your day with a positive outlook, no matter what may happen. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. It's easy to fall into a pattern of negativity, especially when things aren't going as planned. But when you intentionally choose gratitude, you begin to see things differently. You stop focusing on the gaps and start appreciating what you already have. Instead of worrying about what you lack, you begin to notice the abundance in your life. The people who love you, the opportunities you've had, and the small everyday moments that are often taken for granted. Gratitude is a choice. And it's something you can practice every single day. You can start by simply taking a few moments to reflect on the things you're thankful for. It could be as simple as the warmth of the sun, the comfort of your home, the kindness of a stranger, or the love and support of your family. Gratitude doesn't have to be reserved for big milestones. It can be found in the smallest of moments. The more you practice gratitude, the more you'll begin to see how much you have to be thankful for. Even when life isn't perfect, gratitude helps you find peace. Life is filled with ups and downs, and it's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going the way you want. But choosing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring your challenges or pretending that everything is okay. It means choosing to look for the good even when things are tough. It means finding reasons to be thankful, even in the middle of a storm. But gratitude brings perspective. It helps you realize that even in the hardest times, there's always something to be thankful for. Whether it's the lessons you're learning, the people supporting you, or the strength you're gaining, the beauty of gratitude is that it's not dependent on your circumstances. You don't have to wait for everything to be perfect in order to feel grateful. Gratitude is available to you right now, in this moment. No matter where you are in life, there are things you can be grateful for. And the more you choose gratitude, the more you'll begin to attract more things to be thankful for. Gratitude creates a ripple effect. It opens doors, attracts positivity, and fills your life with abundance. Gratitude also has the power to heal. When you focus on what you're thankful for, it shifts your energy and mindset away from negativity, bitterness, and resentment. It helps you release the past and embrace the present with a sense of peace. Gratitude has the ability to heal emotional wounds and bring you to a place of forgiveness and acceptance. By choosing gratitude, you allow yourself to move forward and let go of anything that's holding you back from experiencing joy and peace. As you go through your day, remember that gratitude is a choice. It's not something that's handed to you. It's something you actively decide to practice. You can choose to see the good, to focus on the blessings, and to appreciate what you have. When you make gratitude a part of your daily life, you begin to create a life filled with positivity, abundance, and joy. Choose gratitude today and watch how it transforms your perspective, your relationships, and your entire life. Peace in the storm. This is something that may seem impossible at first glance. How can we possibly experience peace when everything around us feels chaotic, when life seems to be falling apart, and when the storms of life are raging around us? The truth is, peace in the storm is not only possible, it's within your reach. Storms are a natural part of life. We all face difficulties, challenges, and moments of uncertainty. These storms come in many forms. Financial struggles, relationship issues, health problems, or the loss of a loved one. They shake us, they test us, and at times they feel overwhelming. But the secret to finding peace in the midst of it all is realizing that peace doesn't come from the absence of storms. It comes from your ability to find calmness, confidence, and strength, even when the storm is still raging. When the winds of life are howling and the waves are crashing all around you, it's easy to feel like you're losing control. But in those moments, it's important to remember that peace is not something that's dependent on external circumstances. It's something that comes from within, from the way you choose to view and respond to your circumstances. You have the power to choose your inner peace, no matter what's happening around you. One of the keys to finding peace in the storm is trust. Trust that everything will work out, even when you can't see the way forward. Life may not always unfold the way you expect or want it to, but trust that there's a purpose to every challenge, and that the storm you're facing will eventually pass. Trust that you have the strength, resilience, and wisdom to weather the storm and come out stronger on the other side. Trust that you're not alone in your struggles, and that support and help are available to you, even if you can't see them right now. Another important aspect of finding peace in the storm is the power of perspective. When life feels chaotic, take a moment to pause and shift your focus. Instead of dwelling on the fear, the uncertainty, or the difficulty, try to look at the situation from a different perspective. What can you learn from this experience? What strength have you discovered in yourself that you didn't know you had? How can this challenge help you grow and evolve as a person? When you shift your perspective, you begin to see the storm not as something that's threatening your peace, but as an opportunity for growth, resilience, and transformation. It's also crucial to remember that peace in the storm doesn't mean the absence of emotion or difficulty. You're allowed to feel anxious, scared, or uncertain. It's okay to acknowledge the weight of the storm. But the key is not letting those emotions consume you or take control of your thoughts. You can feel the fear without letting it define you. You can experience the pain without letting it steal your peace. True peace is not the absence of emotion. It's the ability to remain grounded and centered, even when those emotions are swirling around you. One of the most effective ways to cultivate peace in the midst of life's storms is through mindfulness and meditation. Taking time to be still, breathe deeply, and center your thoughts helps you tap into your inner peace. Even in the most chaotic moments, taking a few moments to breathe, to pause, and to focus on the present moment can help you regain your balance and calm your mind. When you focus on the present instead of worrying about the future or rehashing the past, you create space for peace to enter your heart. Another way to experience peace in the storm is through self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself during difficult times. Don't beat yourself up for feeling overwhelmed or unsure. It's natural to feel lost in the middle of a storm, but remember that this doesn't make you weak or incapable. You're doing the best you can, and that's enough. Allow yourself the grace to experience emotions without judgment, and know that it's okay to not have everything figured out right away. Peace comes when you stop being so hard on yourself and embrace the journey, even with all its ups and downs. Finally, remember that you are more than your circumstances. The storm you're facing may be intense, but it does not define who you are. You are strong, capable, and resilient. The storm may shake you, but it will not break you. You have within you a deep well of inner strength that can carry you through the hardest times. And when you tap into that strength, you begin to experience a peace that transcends the storm. A peace that comes from knowing that you are capable of overcoming whatever challenges come your way. Happiness is not a destination. It's not something that you can simply reach once you've accomplished certain goals, ticked off all the boxes on your to-do list, or checked the last item off your wish list. Too often we think that happiness is something we'll experience once we get there. Once we have the perfect job, the ideal relationship, the dream home, or the financial security we desire. But the truth is, happiness is not a place you can arrive at. Happiness is a journey, a way of living, a state of mind that you can choose at any moment. Many people live their lives with the belief that happiness is something that comes in the future, and so they spend their days chasing after it, thinking that once they have this or once they do that, then they'll finally be happy. The problem is, if you wait for everything in your life to be perfect before you allow yourself to be happy, you will be waiting forever. There will always be something more to strive for, something more to achieve, and something else to attain. The reality is that happiness isn't found in the destination. It's found in the present moment, in the way you experience life now, regardless of where you are on your journey. Happiness is about making the most of the present. It's about appreciating the little things, the beauty of the morning sunrise, the warmth of a hug, the sound of laughter with friends, the joy of accomplishing small tasks, or simply sitting quietly with a sense of peace. Happiness is in those everyday moments that you might overlook if you're constantly waiting for something bigger to happen. By living in the present and appreciating what you have right now, you open yourself to a constant stream of joy and contentment. Another important truth is that happiness is a choice. You have the power to choose how you approach life, no matter what challenges or obstacles you face. You can choose to focus on what you're grateful for, or you can choose to focus on what's lacking. You can choose to embrace each moment with a sense of joy and appreciation, or you can choose to constantly look ahead, thinking that happiness will only come once you've achieved a certain goal. When you choose happiness, you open the door to joy at any point along your journey. The idea that happiness is a destination can lead to feelings of frustration, stress, and burnout, because the pursuit of happiness becomes a never-ending cycle. You push yourself harder, expecting that happiness will come when you've reached your next goal, only to find that once you've accomplished it, there's always another mountain to climb. This cycle can leave you feeling exhausted and unfulfilled because you're constantly chasing something that's just out of reach. But when you shift your mindset and realize that happiness is not about reaching a certain point, it's about experiencing life fully right now, you begin to find peace and contentment no matter where you are on your path. Happiness is also about embracing the journey itself rather than solely focusing on the end result. Life is full of challenges and setbacks, and often the road to success or fulfillment is not a straight line. But in every step along the way, there's an opportunity to learn, grow, and find joy in the process. When you embrace the journey rather than focusing only on the destination, you begin to experience happiness in ways you never thought possible. It's about finding satisfaction in the progress you're making, in the lessons you're learning, and in the person you're becoming. So don't wait for happiness to arrive in the future. Choose to be happy now. Take a moment to appreciate the beauty of life as it is right now. Choose gratitude, choose joy, and choose to live fully in the present. Happiness isn't a destination, it's a way of life, a mindset that you can choose every single day. And when you make that choice, you'll find that happiness isn't something you have to chase after. It's something you can experience right where you are. Creating your own happiness is one of the most empowering choices you can make in life. Too often, we fall into the trap of waiting for happiness to come from external sources, whether it's from a perfect relationship, a successful career, or material possessions. But the truth is, happiness is not something that can be given to you by others or attained through external achievements. It's something that you can create from within by the way you think, act, and respond to the world around you. The first step in creating your own happiness is deciding to be intentional about your thoughts and actions. Your mindset plays a huge role in shaping your happiness. If you constantly focus on what's wrong in your life, you'll inevitably feel dissatisfied and discouraged. But when you choose to focus on the things you're grateful for, the moments that bring you joy, and the aspects of your life that are going well, you naturally shift your energy toward happiness. Positive thinking is a powerful tool. It opens up space for more good things to enter your life and helps you appreciate what you already have. Another important aspect of creating your own happiness is practicing self-compassion. Too many people hold themselves to impossibly high standards, thinking that happiness will come when they've achieved the next big goal or become good enough. But the truth is, you are already worthy of happiness right now, just as you are. When you stop criticizing yourself and embrace who you are in this moment, you free yourself from the pressure to be perfect and open the door to peace and contentment. Treat yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding that you would show to a friend. Happiness also comes from living in alignment with your values and purpose. When you know what truly matters to you and live authentically, you create a sense of fulfillment that no external achievement can replace. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, contributing to a cause you believe in, or simply engaging in activities that bring you joy, aligning your life with your core values creates a deep sense of satisfaction. When you're living authentically, happiness naturally flows from that sense of purpose and alignment. Embrace the present moment. So often we get caught up in worrying about the future, dwelling on the past, and in doing so we miss the joy that's available to us right now. Happiness is found in the present, in the simple moments of life, whether it's a good cup of coffee, a walk in nature, or a conversation with a friend. When you focus on the present moment and find joy in the now, you stop waiting for happiness to happen and start creating it yourself. It's also essential to remember that happiness doesn't always come in the form of grand moments or big achievements. Small, everyday acts of joy can create lasting happiness. Take time to enjoy the little things, whether it's laughing with a loved one, savoring a delicious meal, or simply sitting quietly and appreciating the beauty around you. These moments, though small, add up to a life filled with happiness. Creating your own happiness is about taking action in the direction of your joy. It's about choosing to do what makes you feel alive, what excites you, and what nourishes your soul. This might mean making time for hobbies, nurturing your health, or spending more time with people who uplift you. When you actively choose to do things that make you happy, you are intentionally creating the kind of life you want to live. Finally, understand that creating your own happiness is a process. It's not about achieving a destination, but about continually making choices that support your well-being and inner peace. Happiness is a journey, not a destination, and it's a journey that you get to shape every day. Some days will be easier than others, but by consistently choosing happiness, you create a life that's filled with positivity, fulfillment, and contentment. You hold the keys to your own happiness. It's not found in external circumstances, but in the way you approach life, your mindset, and your choices. When you create your own happiness, you take back control of your life and free yourself from waiting for things to be perfect. Choose happiness today and every day by focusing on what you can control, living authentically and embracing the present moment. The more you create your own happiness, the more it will overflow into every area of your life. Choosing your response is one of the most powerful tools you have in life. Every day we face situations, challenges, and people that can stir up a wide range of emotions. While we can't always control the events that happen to us, we can choose how we respond to them. This ability to choose your response gives you the power to shape your emotional state, your relationships, and ultimately your happiness. Life is full of ups and downs, and sometimes it can feel overwhelming. It's easy to get caught up in negative emotions like anger, frustration, or fear, especially when things don't go the way we expect. However, the way you choose to respond in those moments can either escalate the situation or calm it down. Your response can either bring peace or create more chaos. By choosing to respond with calmness, patience, or understanding, you can shift the entire dynamic of the moment. You can diffuse tension, create positive change, and even turn a challenging situation into an opportunity for growth. One of the most important aspects of choosing your response is taking a moment to pause and reflect before reacting. Often our first instinct is to react impulsively, driven by emotions or the circumstances at hand. But by taking a deep breath and pausing for just a moment, we create space to make a more thoughtful and intentional choice. That moment of pause gives you the opportunity to choose a response that aligns with your values, your goals, and your emotional well-being. It's important to realize that your response doesn't have to be based on the actions of others. Sometimes we react to things based on what other people say or do. But when you choose your response, you're no longer at the mercy of someone else's behavior. You take ownership of your emotional state and realize that no matter what others do, you have the power to stay grounded and respond in a way that reflects your character, not just your emotions. Choosing your response also involves embracing a mindset of resilience. Life won't always go according to plan, and challenges are inevitable. But how you choose to face those challenges is what matters most. Instead of feeling defeated or hopeless, choose to see every obstacle as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. When you choose resilience over defeat, you build a mindset that empowers you to handle whatever comes your way. Sometimes choosing your response means letting go of control. We often try to control everything around us, but the reality is that we can't control other people's actions or the outcomes of every situation. However, we can control how we respond to those things. When you release the need to control everything, you open yourself to peace and acceptance. You can choose to let go of frustration and accept things as they are, knowing that you can still find peace within yourself, regardless of external circumstances. Another important aspect of choosing your response is understanding that you have the power to influence your own happiness. Many people think that happiness depends on external factors, getting a promotion, receiving recognition, or achieving certain goals. While those things can bring momentary joy, true happiness comes from within. Choosing a positive, grateful response to life's challenges helps you cultivate a deeper sense of happiness and contentment. Even in the toughest situations, you can choose to find the silver lining, focus on the good, and practice gratitude. This mindset shift can transform your overall outlook on life. Finally, remember that choosing your response doesn't mean you have to suppress your emotions or pretend that everything is okay when it's not. It's about choosing how to navigate through those emotions in a healthy and productive way. It's okay to feel anger, sadness, or frustration. But it's important to express those emotions in a way that is constructive rather than destructive. When you choose to respond thoughtfully, you can acknowledge your feelings without letting them take control of your actions or your mindset. In the end, the power to choose your response lies within you. It's a skill that you can practice and strengthen over time. By consciously choosing your responses, you gain more control over your emotional state, your relationships, and your happiness. You begin to realize that you don't have to be a victim of your circumstances or the actions of others. You can create the kind of life and emotional experience you want by simply choosing how you respond. So take a moment to pause, breathe, and choose your response wisely. In every moment, you hold the power to create peace, joy, and strength in your life. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful forces in the world, yet it is often one of the most challenging things to practice. We've all experienced moments when we've been hurt, betrayed, or let down by others. It's only natural to feel anger, resentment, or sadness when someone wrongs us. But what we often fail to realize is that holding on to those negative emotions can trap us in a cycle of pain, and that the true key to peace and happiness is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongdoer or letting them off the hook. It's not about pretending that nothing happened or allowing the other person to continue mistreating you. Instead, forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the grip of bitterness, resentment, and pain. It's a gift you give to yourself, not the person who hurt you. By choosing to forgive, you release the power that the past holds over you, and you take back control of your emotions, your life, and your happiness. Too often we think that forgiveness is something we do for others, but the truth is, forgiveness is a decision we make for ourselves. Holding on to anger or resentment is like carrying around a heavy burden that weighs us down. It takes energy, focus, and attention to keep those negative emotions alive. And as we carry this burden, it affects everything in our lives, our relationships, our health, our mindset, and our happiness. When we choose to forgive, we set ourselves free from the emotional weight that holds us back. Forgiveness is not an easy process. It requires courage, strength, and vulnerability, but it's also one of the most transformative decisions we can make. When we choose to forgive, we choose to release ourselves from the past. We choose to no longer let our negative experiences define who we are or how we live. We take back the power to shape our own emotional state instead of allowing others' actions to dictate our feelings. Forgiveness is an act of self-love, because by letting go of the hurt and anger, we make space for healing, peace, and happiness to enter our hearts. Forgiveness is liberating. When we forgive, we let go of the chains that keep us tethered to our pain. We no longer allow the person who wronged us to control our emotions or our mindset. We take away their power over us. Instead of letting the wrongs of the past affect our present and future, we choose to live in the present moment with peace and emotional freedom. Forgiveness is a conscious choice to stop allowing the past to steal our joy. The past is over, and the only thing we can control is how we respond to it today. Forgiving someone doesn't mean that we forget what happened or that we accept their behavior. It simply means that we no longer allow their actions to hold power over us. Forgiveness is not an endorsement of the wrong, but a decision to release the emotional grip it has on our lives. It's an acknowledgement that we have the strength to move forward, regardless of what was done to us. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the prison of resentment and make room for healing and happiness to take root. Forgiveness leads to emotional freedom. When we hold on to grudges, we are emotionally imprisoned. The anger, bitterness, and pain continue to linger in our hearts and minds, preventing us from truly living in the moment or experiencing peace. But when we forgive, we break free from that emotional prison. We stop allowing the hurt from others to define our emotional state, and instead, we open ourselves to love, joy, and inner peace. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to emotional freedom. It's the moment when we choose to let go of the past and embrace a brighter, more peaceful future. Moreover, forgiveness is a powerful practice for our physical well-being. Studies have shown that holding on to anger and resentment can negatively affect our health, contributing to stress, high blood pressure, and even heart disease. The emotions associated with unforgiveness, stress, anxiety, and hostility can take a toll on our bodies. When we forgive, we release those harmful emotions and create space for positive energy to flow through us. Forgiveness can be a healing balm for both our hearts and our bodies. In addition to improving our emotional and physical health, forgiveness enhances our relationships. When we hold grudges, it's difficult to maintain healthy, positive relationships with others. Our unresolved anger can seep into our interactions, making us distant, defensive, or cold. But when we forgive, we open the door to healing and reconciliation. Forgiveness strengthens our bonds with others because it fosters empathy, understanding, and compassion. When we choose to forgive, we show others the grace and mercy that we also need in our own lives. Another important aspect of forgiveness is that it teaches us the power of compassion. When we forgive others, we're not only offering them grace, but we're also learning to be compassionate toward ourselves. Forgiveness requires empathy and understanding, recognizing that we're all human and we all make mistakes. No one is perfect, and sometimes people hurt others unintentionally. When we forgive, we begin to see the humanity in others, and we understand that forgiveness isn't about condoning their actions, but about extending compassion and grace. Lastly, forgiveness helps us grow. Every time we forgive, we practice letting go of negativity and focusing on the positive. We practice releasing what we cannot change and accepting what is. Forgiveness teaches us resilience, patience, and emotional maturity. It helps us develop a mindset of peace, acceptance, and strength, which allows us to face future challenges with grace and confidence. Forgiveness is an essential part of our personal growth and emotional development. In conclusion, forgiveness is the gateway to happiness. It's not just a choice we make for the sake of others, it's a decision we make for our own well-being. By forgiving, we free ourselves from the chains of anger and resentment, and we open our hearts to peace, joy, and healing. Forgiveness is the greatest gift you can give to yourself. It's the key to emotional freedom, healthier relationships, better physical health, and ultimately a happier life. Choose forgiveness today and experience the transformative power of releasing the past and embracing a brighter, more joyful future. You are in control of your happiness in life. There are many things we cannot control. Circumstances, other people's actions, and the unforeseen events that may come our way. But one thing we have complete control over is our own happiness. Happiness is not something that is handed to us from the outside. It is something we create from within. You are in control of your happiness, and how you choose to respond to life's challenges will determine the level of fulfillment and joy you experience. We often get caught in the idea that happiness is something we have to wait for, something that will come to us when the right things happen. We think, I'll be happy when I get the job, when I find the perfect partner, when I have more money, or when everything in my life is finally in order. But true happiness does not depend on external factors. It's not a destination we reach once everything falls into place. Happiness is a mindset and a choice. One of the most important things to understand is that happiness is not something that happens to us. It is something we create through our thoughts, our actions, and our attitude. We can choose to be happy regardless of what's going on around us. Our happiness is not dependent on the circumstances we find ourselves in. It's about how we choose to respond to those circumstances. It all begins with the realization that you have the power to control your mindset. Every day, you have the ability to choose the way you look at the world. You can focus on the negative, on everything that's going wrong, on what you don't have, or on the things that upset you. Or you can choose to focus on the positive. There is always something to be grateful for, even in the midst of difficulties. The more we choose to focus on the good, the more we invite happiness into our lives. It starts with shifting your perspective. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. Instead of viewing challenges as obstacles, try to see them as opportunities for growth. Instead of feeling defeated by setbacks, embrace them as lessons that can make you stronger. Your happiness is not determined by the events that happen to you, but by how you choose to interpret and respond to those events. Another important factor in controlling your happiness is taking responsibility for your emotions. It's easy to blame external factors, your job, your relationships, the economy, or other people for your unhappiness. But when we do that, we give away our power. We give away our ability to control how we feel. You are responsible for your emotional state. You have the power to choose how you respond to every situation, no matter how difficult or challenging it may seem. It's important to recognize that no one can make you feel anything. Your emotions are a result of your own thoughts and perceptions. This doesn't mean you should ignore negative emotions. It's completely normal to feel sad, angry, frustrated, or disappointed at times. What matters is how you process those emotions. Instead of letting them consume you, choose to acknowledge them, understand them, and then move on. Don't dwell on the negative. Instead, focus on what you can learn from it and how you can grow. By taking ownership of your emotional state, you empower yourself to create a more positive, joyful life. In addition to your mindset and emotions, your actions play a crucial role in your happiness. You can think positively and control your emotions, but if your actions don't align with your values or desires, you may still find yourself feeling unfulfilled. True happiness comes when you live authentically and take actions that are in line with who you truly are and what you truly want. You are in control of how you show up in the world. If you want to be happy, you need to actively pursue the things that bring your joy, that make you feel alive, and that nurture your soul. This can mean anything from spending time with loved ones, pursuing your passions, helping others, or engaging in activities that nourish your body and mind. Happiness is a result of living with intention. It's about choosing to spend your time on what matters most to you and making conscious decisions that align with your values. A key part of controlling your happiness is also learning to let go of what no longer serves you. Often, we hold on to toxic relationships, unfulfilling jobs, negative habits, or past experiences that weigh us down. These things can steal our joy and prevent us from moving forward. Letting go of what doesn't serve you, whether it's limiting beliefs, harmful patterns, frustrations, and jealousy, no rumor of what may get in your way can keep you from moving forward. Or people who drain your energy is a crucial step in taking control of your happiness. You deserve to surround yourself with things and people that uplift and support you. Another important factor in choosing happiness is practicing gratitude. It's easy to get caught up in what's going wrong. But when we make an effort to recognize and appreciate what's going right, we shift our focus and invite more positivity into our lives. Gratitude opens the door to happiness. The more you focus on what you're grateful for, the more you attract positive experiences, people, and opportunities into your life. It's also essential to remember that happiness is a journey, not a destination. Sometimes we get caught up in the idea that happiness is something we'll attain in the future, once we've accomplished certain things or reached certain goals. But the truth is, happiness is found in the journey itself, in the little moments, the everyday experiences, and the choices you make every day. You don't have to wait for happiness. You can choose it right now in the present moment. Another key to happiness is accepting that you're not going to be happy all the time. Life is full of ups and downs, and that's perfectly normal. But even in the difficult moments, you have the power to choose how you respond. You can choose to stay positive, to keep moving forward, and to keep looking for the silver lining. You don't have to be happy every second of the day, but you can choose to embrace the overall joy that comes from knowing that you have the power to control your happiness no matter what life throws your way. One of the first steps in making the choice to be happy is to let go of the idea that happiness is something we can only have in the future. So often, we think that happiness is something that is just beyond our reach, waiting for us in the future, after we've achieved our dreams or overcome our struggles. But if we keep waiting for the perfect moment to be happy, we may miss out on the joy that's available to us right now. Happiness is not something you have to wait for. It's something you can experience in the present, regardless of your circumstances. Choosing happiness in the present moment begins with shifting your perspective. It's easy to focus on what's wrong in our lives, what's lacking, or what's going wrong. We tend to dwell on problems, setbacks, and disappointments. But when we make the choice to focus on the positive, on what is going right, on what we are grateful for, on the blessings we already have, our entire perspective changes. The way we choose to see the world has a profound effect on how we feel. When we make the conscious decision to look for the good, we begin to experience more happiness, more peace, and more joy in our lives. Another key element of making the choice to be happy is taking responsibility for our own emotional state. It's easy to blame external factors, other people, situations, or circumstances for our unhappiness. We often think that if only things were different, if only we had more, If only others treated us better, then we would be happy. But the truth is, we are the ones who control our emotions. No one else has the power to make us happy or unhappy unless we give them that power. We are in charge of how we respond to life's challenges. By taking responsibility for our emotional state, we reclaim our power and take control of our happiness. This doesn't mean that life will always be easy or that we will never face difficult times. Everyone goes through hardships, setbacks, and losses. What it means is that we have the ability to choose how we respond to those challenges. We can choose to let our circumstances dictate our happiness, or we can choose to rise above them and find peace, joy, and gratitude, even in the most difficult of times. Happiness is not about avoiding pain. It's about choosing to focus on the light, even when the darkness tries to take over. Making the choice to be happy also requires letting go of past hurts and resentments. Holding on to anger, bitterness, or regret only weighs us down and prevents us from experiencing true happiness. When we hold on to past grievances, we carry emotional baggage that affects how we feel in the present. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in making the choice to be happy. It's about releasing the grip of the past and choosing to free ourselves from the negative emotions that tie us to it. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing the wrongs done to us. It means freeing ourselves from the emotional burden of carrying anger, resentment, and pain. When we forgive, we make room for happiness to enter our hearts. In addition to letting go of the past, we also need to let go of the need for perfection. So often we think that happiness comes from achieving perfection in every area of our lives. We think that if we look a certain way, achieve certain goals, or have everything in place, then we'll finally be happy. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. No one is perfect, and no life is without flaws. Happiness comes not from perfection, but from acceptance. It's about accepting ourselves, our flaws, and the imperfections of life, and finding peace and joy in the midst of them. When we let go of the need for perfection, we open ourselves up to the beauty of imperfection and the happiness that comes with it. Another important step in choosing happiness is practicing gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to shift our focus from what's wrong to what's right. It's easy to get caught up in complaints or worries, but when we take the time each day to reflect on the things we're grateful for, we begin to change our mindset. Gratitude helps us see the abundance in our lives, even in the midst of challenges. It shifts our focus from scarcity to abundance, from lack to fulfillment. By practicing gratitude, we train our minds to focus on the positive and to find joy in the small things. Choosing to be happy also involves taking care of ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally. We can't expect to be happy if we are neglecting our well-being. Happiness starts with self-care. This means getting enough rest, eating nourishing foods, engaging in activities that bring us joy, and spending time with people who lift us up. Taking care of ourselves is an act of self-love. And when we love and nurture ourselves, we create the conditions for happiness to flourish. It's also important to recognize that happiness doesn't come from external sources like material possessions or achievements. While these things may bring temporary joy, true happiness comes from within. It comes from a deep sense of inner peace, acceptance, and contentment. When we stop relying on external circumstances to bring us happiness and start cultivating it from within, we become truly free. Happiness is not something we have to chase. It's something we can choose to create right now in this moment. Making the choice to be happy is a lifelong practice. It's not about feeling happy all the time or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the positive, letting go of what no longer serves us, practicing gratitude and taking responsibility for our emotions. It's about embracing life with all its ups and downs and choosing to find joy, peace, and fulfillment in the process. So today, make the choice to be happy. Choose to focus on the good. Choose to let go of the past. Choose to forgive. Choose to love yourself. And choose to practice gratitude. Happiness is not something that will happen to you someday in the future. It's something you can choose to experience right now. You have the power to create your own happiness, no matter what's going on around you. Make the choice to be happy today and watch how your life transforms. In closing, remember that happiness is within your reach, and it is a choice you can make every single day. Life may not always be easy, and challenges are inevitable, but how you respond to those challenges is what truly matters. You have the power to shape your happiness by shifting your perspective, practicing gratitude, forgiving and letting go of what no longer serves you. Every day is an opportunity to choose joy, peace, and contentment. No one else can give you happiness, and no external circumstance can take it away unless you allow it. The key to living a happy life lies within you, in your mindset, your choices, and the way you approach each moment. So today, choose happiness. Choose to focus on the positive. Choose to embrace life's imperfections and find peace in the present. You are in control of your happiness, and when you choose it, you'll begin to see how truly abundant and beautiful your life can be. Make that choice today and let happiness flow into your life in ways you never imagined. Your happiness is waiting for you, and the time to choose it is now.